Hey everybody, this is Ronnie coming to you today with a video, and we're gonna talk about measuring suits. And a lot of this comes to just like how is a suit measure up, and how do you know if it's somewhat correct to the sizing? Because there's technically like three kind of suits you can buy, which is off the rack, which is what a lot of suits we come across are off the rack. They're just regular suits, and you can get them maybe tailored. Maybe you can have them shortened a little, like Suit Supply, or Suit Supply is probably one of the higher um, popular brands right now of what you would consider off the rack, or yeah, just that's that suit. And then there's made to measure, which are another kind of suit, which is kind of, they already have the pattern, if that makes any sense. And it's like Incochino or J. Hildeburn, some other companies. And you'll send them your measurements, and they basically make a suit based off your measurements. And then there's bespoke, which is made from scratch. Like you go in there for a few fittings, take a few months. When you think of bespoke suits, you really think of Celavit Row in England making suits, thousands, if not tens of thousands. Depending on what kind of materials you want, you could be talking. I've seen some suits people have talked about, being 30, 40, 50 grand, which is crazy. But we're just going to talk about measuring today. Sometimes you'll come across a suit that doesn't have a size in it, and sometimes it does have a size, and you want to kind of make sure that that suit is properly going to be represented, so you're not getting returns and so on and so forth. So I took 4 suits that I have right here. They're a little bit different quality of suits, but they're all basically what you'd consider, you go into a store, you'd buy it, and we'll leave with it, so on and so forth. So this is the first one. You can see right here, it's a gray with a window pane. This is a Brooks Brothers. This is a larger suit. This is actually their suit that you would get at their outlet. It's the Brooks Brothers 346 line, and this is a larger suit. This is a 48 long. One of the reasons why I bought it, and it's more recent and current. This is actually from, it's not super recent, but it's not super old either. And it still had like the what do you call it? The vent was still like partially closed with the white. Took it out though, because I thought it just didn't look good. But a lot of Brooks Brothers suits, they will give you a quick idea. You can see right there, and it says S09. My assuming is that's from 2009. It could mean spring. It could mean summer. Not really sure, but that much I know. Spring or summer, it would probably be, because I've seen F09 or F10, so on and so forth, or F4, F12, F14, F16 recently, and some of the ones we picked up. Anyway, so what you want to do to measure this is there's 4 basic measurements I put in it, and there's one measurement that I don't, and you could add it. Really, I never get anybody to ask us for it. But we'll talk about the 4 measurements I list in the listing. So the one that you want to do really to figure out if it's pretty much been tailored or messed with is the pit-to-pit measurement. And with a suit that's 48, it should be between 2 to 4 inches larger. So we'd be looking for a 50 to 52 in the pit-to-pit, if that makes any sense. So if you had a suit that was not sized and you were trying to figure out what the size was, and let's say you went across and you had 52 inches, would be a 48. And that's probably where you want to be with most suits, is a 48. Most suits are regular fit. There's some slim fit suits and so on and etc. But usually they'll say somewhere on it slim fit or athletic fit, somewhere along those lines. But most suits are made to have a sweater under it or so on and so forth. Some Italian brands, they're a little bit different. Um, you know. So this one, when I measure it across, is 25.5. So there's a 51 pit to pit, which is about 1.5 extra, which would work. And it would tell us that it's a 48. Now, getting the lengths is a little bit different and difficult. Another measurement I put is just shoulder measurement, which is I measure along the back from shoulder seam to shoulder seam. And, you know, some guys like this measurement, you know, and this will depend just on the brand, but this is coming up about 20.75. And I try to break it down to at least be within 1/4 of an inch. And then the third measurement is the sleeve, and you want to take it from the outside, not the inside. You just measure from the bottom of the sleeve to the cuff, to the shoulder seam. And this is coming up 26.75. And then last measurement is basically down the back. I do it from the bottom of the collar, because I mean, technically, when you have the collar up, to me, that doesn't really, you know. And if somebody just asks, usually a collar is about an inch, inch and a half. But if I measure from the bottom of the collar, this comes to 33.5 inches, which anything over 32.5 in this size suit would tell me that is a long. And it is measured a 48 long. And what I was saying, this suit, you can see here, this is where they still had that part of the tag on there. So I'll take that off later, just clean it up. But they have that cardboard thing on here. And then another measurement people put is the waist measurement on suits, which is either somewhere down by the second button, or if it's like a 3 button, it would be along the waist. You'd measure it across and come up with that. I don't do it, and I don't know, maybe one out of I've sold probably close to 1,000 suits, 900 suits over 6+ years on eBay, and 1 or 2 people have maybe asked for that measurement. So I'm not really concerned about it. So this was just one jacket. We did it quick, and I'll do this a little bit quicker on the next 3, just to show you and give you ideas of where they should be. And we'll talk about the suit, and we'll come up with somewhat of a side. This here is like a tweed material. It's a wool. It's that scratchy wool. And this one you see right here has the buttons that come apart. This is surgeon cuffs, or and they all unbutton. Just have the one unbutton right now. Surgeon cuff, working cuffs, and that usually adds a little bit of value. To have that done to a suit is usually a few $100s, depending on the quality of the suit. Some brands now come with that pretty, do that pretty regularly. So, but make a long story short, this is a Charles Tire Wit. And this is it says classic fit, size 42 regular. So I'll measure it, check it out, and see what it's like. So we're going to be looking for a pit-to-pit measurement on this of somewhere between 44 and 46. And since it's a regular fit, it should be more towards the 46 end of the spectrum. So we get 46. And then we'll do this. The shoulder seam. The shoulder seam is coming up just under 19.5. The sleeve length should be, I'm going to say 24 on a regular suit. And we're coming up with 25.5, which is good. A regular would be somewhere between like 24.25 till about, on the sleeve length on a regular this size. And that's the thing. You're going to have to kind of, if the sleeve was like, let's say under 24, it would be a short. Because short arms, alligator arms. And then we're coming up here with the length in the back. I'm going to assume it's going to be about a 29-ish. And we got 29. So this is basically your regular 42 regular. I mean, arm lengths are going to be a little bit different. Lengths in the back are going to be a little bit different. After the last two suits, we'll kind of get into the little bit feel more of how to distinguish a. I wrote down a thing here. It's not perfect, but it will guide you and help you. This is a Brooks Brothers. This was from a suit. And this is a very lightweight wool. It's the Brooks Cool. And this is a 43 regular. I hate odd size suits. Odd size suits will sell slow. If you're always, let's say this, if you're measuring a suit and you're putting in the size yourself, you always kind of want to round it to an even number because only a few brands make odd size suits. Ralph Lauren will make a few here, like some of the older Ralph Lauren ones, not really too many of the new ones when they first started making suits. Brooks Brothers is another one. Brands like Southwick, J. Pressman, I think. Kind of your older suit makers will make that half size. Some Joseph A. Bank stuff is a half size, where it's like a tweener size. It's like between a 42 and a 44. It's like pants. You ever see pants where it's like 35-inch waist and you're like, oh. You're used to even numbers. Odd numbers mean slower sell time most of the time. But we got 43 regular here. We'll go through the measurements. This is a Madison fit. And this is a wool and nylon blend. And showing you again, this is the Brooks Brothers tag right there. And I'm pretty sure that on there is 015 is from 2015. I mean, I've seen more than enough Brooks Brothers suits to know. And this is a more current label here. This style of Brooks Brothers with the Madison fit and Brooks Cool. This is like a lightweight suit, something where you'd wear in like a tropical weight or something like that. It's half lined. It's very, very light, like a summer suit. Part of the reason why I bought it. But now we're going to measure this. Like we said, it's a 43. So we're going to look for a measurement somewhere between 45 and 47 is what we should get. And the measurement comes out to be 47. So 4 inches, once again, like we said. And then, we'll check. Usually you don't have to check the shoulders. You want to put them in your measurements. Sleeve length, 24.5. Like I said, anything under, you want to probably have it between, a regular should be between, for this size suit, which is like a 42, 43, should be between like 24 and 26. Anything over 26 would be considered a long, and anything under 24 would be considered a short. And then we do the measurement down the back from the bottom of the collar, and we're coming up with 31 inches. So kind of near the top of the suit this size. You really don't want to see anything more than 32 inches. I mean 31 kind of for a smaller suit like this. So this is pretty much, you can tell it hasn't been messed with. Keep all this stuff in line because I gotta get some listings done tomorrow. This is a suit I picked up today. It's a nice, you can't really tell. Has like a, hey, focus. Hey, it's not going to focus. I probably maybe should have left this one behind, but I just had to pick it up. It's a Mani Collection, and it's the Georgio cut. And looking at the tag on this, 40 regular, going by this tag. Client number, I want to say this was probably tailored, going by just all that writing on this. So this might, it's like we said, 40. Let's check it out and see what we're coming in. This is definitely looks to be a more slimming fit. I don't know if you're going to be able to tell, but see the way it darts in on the side there? This seems like it's going to be more of a tighter fit, slimmer fit style jacket. Because, hey, eBay asks you that now. If it's a regular fit, classic fit, which I would think both of those are like the same, classic and regular. Like, what? Athletic fit, I understand, is more of a slim fit. We've seen a lot of brands kind of jump on that slim fit the last few years ago. And then portly, I want to say, is like when it's oversized. That's like a big boy when you get into the bigger sizes. So we're coming up with a measurement on this of just under like 40, 43 and a half. So yeah, I mean, it's not really too much of a slimmer fit. Kind of looks like a slimmer fit. It might be in the waist. And then we come down, the length on the shoulder, I mean on the coming in 24.75, so that fits kind of perfect with a 40. And then down the back here, we're looking at a 29 and a half. So pretty regular for a, kind of near the top of the line for a regular. Now, if you want to keep a pen or something to this effect with these measurements here. These are just my measurements. I wish there was a way I could incorporate this into the listing. Maybe I will down below after. But when you're trying to figure out the size of a suit, like I said, it should probably be somewhere between 2 to 4 inches in the pit-to-pit measurement. If you're measuring, it does not have the size, just go 4. Unless it says like a slim fit, do 4 inches. So if you measure it, doesn't have a size, and we'll just say for shits and giggles, it says 25. So you double the 25, you get 50. Subtract 4, you come out with a 46. Simple mathematics. And with that 46, it should have a length down the back of approximately 32, somewhere between, I'll say, like 31 to 32 and a half. And the length of the sleeve should be somewhere between like 24 till like 26 and a half, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little tad. So there's many jackets you'll come across. Most of the time, you're gonna find jackets anywhere between 34, which is a really, really small jacket. I would say 34 is like for someone like 5'5", 5'6". Well, no, maybe a little taller, but someone that weighs about 120 pounds. Like, it's a small. I know someone that wears like a size like that, and I'm trying to figure out how. And they wear extra slim. They're slim. They've been in America. They're Greek, and yeah, some of the outfits they wear are feminine looking. Gotta love it. But anyway, jacket sizes are anywhere between like a 34, and then you go all the way up. I mean, most of the time in the stores, you'll come across maybe 50, 52, 54, 56. And you really, when you get to those sizes, anything above like a 48, I think, 50, 48, 50 is like a 2X. So anything over that, you really want to be careful with what you pick up with, because some of it will sell good, some of it won't. A lot of it's just men's warehouse stuff and really depends on the patterns or the material if it's going to sell or not. I've had some success selling just run of the they can't be 20 years old because it's really hard to sell an older style suit. So getting back to the size, so a regular, let's say anything shorter than 24 inches would be considered like a short in the sleeves, and anything longer than like a 26 and a half would be considered long. But you got to use, as you get into a bigger jackets, as you're getting more towards like 50, 52, 48, they could have a little bit longer sleeves because it's a bigger jacket. And the same thing goes with the length down the back. Now, anything shorter than like 28 and a half, maybe on the smaller end, we're talking like 34, 36, 38, 40, should have, length somewhere around 28, 28 and a half, maybe even 29. Anything longer than that would be considered long. Anything shorter than that, 28 and a half would be considered short. That makes sense. I'm not sure if I said that properly, but I think you understand what I'm saying. So the longer the jacket, consider it a long. Shorter. Most run-of-the-mill, off-the-rack stuff is going to be regular for the most part. And if you need any help or anything, just comment below and I'll try to help you, or email me. I'll have my email address in the chat. You can go down in the description of the video, email me anything you need help with, and I'll be more than glad to help you free of charge. Just understand, free of charge means I get to you, unfortunately, when I get to you. It might be a few days. Don't be in a rush because it's free. Free. You like free, mi amor? She loves free. Now we'll get to the shipping part because we did have this question of shipping. And if there's anything mixed, I'll make another video. If there's anything else you guys want me to talk about, I'll make another video on this kind of stuff. There's mostly 3 boxes I use for shipping. You see the ones behind us, I inventory them using the United States Postal Service box. It's this box right here. This is the 1095 box. And this box is, where's the size in this puppy? Oh, there we go. It's 12 by 3 by 15. And I put them in these, and I have them inventoried, numbered. And depending on where they're going, this goes by weight. Most of the time, East Coast. For us, we're in Massachusetts, so anything on the East Coast is going to be approximately $8 to $9. So that beats any flat rate box for the most part. Florida, it gets a little bit more expensive. Anything like now west of the Mississippi, in the South, I'll put in a medium flat rate box. And the medium flat rate box, as you can see, is very similar to the box I just showed you. It's a little smaller. But this box goes at like I forgot what it is now, 1335 or something, or 1265, or yeah, it's somewhere in that range. But this is a little bit smaller of a box. I'll just take it out of the box. I'll put it in this one. Those boxes I do not seal. You can see tape on them. I take a box cutter. I'll cut people with that box cutter if I'm at the bins. But for the sense of this, I use it just to cut the tape. And I'll just transfer the box. I keep the box, and I'll just give another item or inventory number and throw it in there. So we're never wasting boxes or anything like that. Waste not, want not a free material. Because the last thing I want United States Postal Service telling us, no more free boxes. No more. What? No more. Most resellers would go crazy. And then the last option, you could do this. I do this for lighter suits or smaller suits that fit in here because this is a little bit smaller of a box. And I really dislike cramming things into boxes. I really don't. I want the customer to have a good experience and come back and buy from us again. And if you know us, we do have a pretty good repeat customer. We do have some repeat customers that come back often and often and more time again. When I do the outright, or not outright, used to be outright, GoDaddy bookkeeping, keeps track, and it'll tell you actually, like, hey, this guy bought this from you in 2014, 2015. He bought 2 things in 2016. Could even go back and see what the items are. And I do that from time to time, and I think it's kind of cute and funny. But we do get a lot of repeat buyers, and I think that's because we list our stuff properly. We don't fuss and make a hassle with returns. I don't know how many people try to make a fuss and hassle with returns. I think that's silly. I mean, most people are ordering stuff offline now. Got to make sure it fits. It's not like they can just walk into a store and try it on. I've told people before, like, they're not sure if a shoe will fit them. I'm like, yo, you got an Allen Edmonds close to you, or go try on that shoe that size and see what it's like. Or you have a Brooks Brothers next to you. They're buying a suit maybe for the first or second time. Go in there, try on a 42 regular and a Madison fit. See if it fits. See how you like it. If it doesn't, try the Fitzgerald fit. Find the Milano fit. They have different fits. And people will try that sometimes instead of dealing with a return. People don't like to deal with the return, but I try to help people as much as I can. So this box I use for small things. One thing I know somebody's going to say, oh, I do it all the time, is I recommend do not try to stuff a suit or sport coat into a padded flat rate. It drives me crazy. I see people do it all the time. We get a lot of things that have issues in those, and the funniest thing is people will say, "Whoa, it was free shipping." I thought you built shipping into your price. Like, I don't get it. You can't say you build it in and then come back and say, "Well, it was free shipping," because it's either one or the other. Either you're paying for it with the item, but you're hiding the cost. So that's how we ship things. Just depends on where they're going. And the flat rate box goes at the 2-pound rate. Most suits, you put them in a box, will weigh somewhere between will go between a 3 and a 4-pound rate. Just depends on where you're going. That's why we do use the medium flat rates for like the West Coast and stuff like that. I rarely use regional A's, to tell you the truth, for shipping suits and sport coats, just because it's a smaller box. It's 3 inches shorter and like an inch not as wide. And I don't like using it. I do use it occasionally. Smaller suits like this would be one here that we have that would be a good candidate for that. This very lightweight Brooks Brothers suits, cotton, would slide in there and wouldn't cause any issues or anything like that. And we have a roll here of dry cleaner bags, and we got these. The last time I got these was actually from the dry cleaners, so I'm not really sure, but just what they are. I know last time I looked, they didn't really have that many on eBay for whatever reason. And we got them from a local dry cleaner that we go to all the time. And I'm trying to see if they have a name on this, but it just says, like, no suffocation or anything like that. So you don't want to tie this around your neck or anything like that. You want to be really good with that. Stay. But that's the boxes. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. We put them in the things and put them. Never had anybody complain about wrinkles or anything like that, because that's how we store them. I've seen some suits kind of like sweaters. When we used to hang them up, if the hanger was not long enough, it would start to get dimples in the suits and stuff like that. Same thing with sweaters. When you hang sweaters up, they'll stretch out the material a little bit. Sometimes it's hard to fix that issue once you have it. And so that's why we went into boxing the suits up. But I know everybody's going to be a little bit different on that. And I don't think there is a right or wrong way, really. It's whatever works for you. Same thing with the shipping. But hey, I hope that helps. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys later. Have a good day.